Hi everybody and welcome to another video as part of Evolve EdTech's Google Slides More Than Just a Slide Deck series. My name is Tristan and I am a content creator here at Evolve EdTech, and thank you so much for joining us today. In today's little video, we are going to show you another amazing feature of Google Slides which you may not be aware of. It's one of those kind of hidden little gems that will make Google Slides definitely more versatile than just being a slide deck that we put up in front of our classes or when we're presenting to other people. So let's go and have a look at today's little tip, and it's using the gray area around our slide. Okay, so there's actually all of this additional real estate that we can actually access and use in Google Slides. Now, I will give you a little bit of warning. This only applies if you are using slides like you can see here. Okay, this doesn't work if we are in our presentation and present mode. So as long as we're not in presentation and present mode, this is available for you. So please just be aware of that if you are creating and coming up with the fantastic things that you're doing when you're using and focusing on this great little tip. So at the moment, you can see I've got my slide deck open. Okay, so traditionally we would use this white space here to create our presentation and the content that we want to deliver to our students. All right, we can put tables, we can put pictures, videos, we can put all kinds of different resources and materials into this particular slide area. That's traditionally what we would use a Google slide deck for. But we have around it all of this gray area. Now, it's really hard to see here, so I'm just going to change the zoom a little bit here, and you can see we've got a really handy dandy keyboard shortcut here, which is Control plus Alt plus the plus or minus key. So I want to zoom out, so I'm going to go Control Alt, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm just going to hop off that so that we can see all of this gray space around our frame here in the middle. Okay, we can actually use all of this space. Okay, so when we are getting students to maybe work on a Google slide, we can actually use this space to provide instructions, information, resources, anything that's applicable and relevant to the activity. So I've actually gone and created a few little example activities that you might like to complete. Now, this is just a quick, off the top of my head, set of examples. It's definitely not all the things you could do. It's open. Basically, it's limitless. There's nothing that you can't do using Google Slides. Casey Bell from Shake Up Learning calls it the Swiss Army knife of the Google Workspace universe, and I absolutely agree with her. There are so many amazing things that you can do with Google Slides. So let's go and have a look at a couple of examples that I have put together to show you how we can utilize this gray space when we are getting students to use a Google slide deck. So the first one here, I just have a short paragraph. So maybe we're in English, maybe we're in some kind of literature class, or maybe it's just in general, and we're teaching students how to construct a paragraph. This particular example is an essay paragraph. Okay, so we are using the typical structure. We've got our topic sentence, we've got our evidence, and then we have our explanation. So we're using the TEE concept here. So maybe with this particular activity, we'd like the students to identify where these different parts are positioned in this particular paragraph. So what I've created here is I've just popped in a couple of text boxes here, okay, with the three components of the TEE paragraph structure. And then all students do is they grab the box and they move it. You might get them to then maybe highlight the particular component here. So this is our introduction, and we could go up here and we could highlight it in the same color. Okay, our evidence from our text. All right, we're going to click on that and drag that. Oops, I'm not dragging that. Drag that. Okay, you might even get your students to put in an arrow okay, to show where it starts. So there's a whole range of things that we can do by adding additional features around our frame, okay, in this gray space. So that is one way that we could use the gray space to teach students paragraph writing. You might even like to maybe have some different elements of a paragraph that aren't in order, and students need to place them in the correct order to develop a correctly structured paragraph. There's another example straight off the bat there. So the gray space, great to help us with essay writing. All right, the next example that I have for you today is using the Evolve EdTech 3-tier vocabulary pyramid. Now, this was originally developed as a Jamboard template, but I've actually been able to repurpose it and reuse it in another capacity right here in Google Slides. So we've got a template that has more than one use, which is some bang for our buck, which is fantastic when it comes to creating activities for our students. So with the 3-tier vocabulary pyramid, what we have is we have a chance to go and explore different elements of vocab to show students how they can develop and increase their vocabulary knowledge and improve their writing and communication. So with our 3-tier vocabulary pyramid, we start off with tier 1, which are those everyday words that we just use so free and frequently. So they're those words that we use all the time, that are very lower level, that are great, but there may be some vocabulary terms that we could use that could elevate our writing and communication even more. Tier 2 are those higher frequency subject specific words. So they are more common words that we might use in our everyday language, okay, but they're not those really basic everyday words. Tier 3 are those really, really specific subject words. So you might have some subject words in your tier 2, but the tier 3 are those really specific words that go along with your particular subject or topic or idea that you are exploring. So we could use the 3-tier vocabulary pyramid and the gray space around our Google slide for an activity. So you might provide students with a whole range of vocabulary terms related to your topic, your concept, your module, your idea, whatever you would like. And then you get the students to drag and drop them. I'll get that out. Drag and drop them into the relevant section of our pyramid. How cool is that? So I've just chucked in a few really simple terms here. They're not related to anything specific. And then all you might get your students to do is to click on them, grab them, and then drag them to the relevant component of our pyramid. Okay, you could do all kinds of things here. You could color code them. Okay, you could make the text a little bit different if you like. It's completely up to you. It's a really great way to get students using this pyramid, but also utilizing this gray space. So the 3-tier vocabulary pyramid is another example of how we could use the gray space around our Google slide to create an engaging and meaningful activity for our students. So there's another really great example. Okay, let's keep going and have a look at another example that I've whipped up. This time I've gone over to our maths side. So maybe you've got some younger kids, okay, they like that kind of manipulative component of maths to demonstrate their knowledge. I've got a really simple one here. We're just practicing some addition, all right? So I've created some circles here to replicate maybe counters, okay? And maybe we're getting students to demonstrate a particular equation. So maybe we're saying, 6 counters. So let's drag 6 counters plus, let's drag 6 across here. And remember, you can always duplicate more if you would like more counters here, okay, by just clicking on it and Control D. Okay, Control D will duplicate that. Okay, and you can see the red line there that indicates that I'm putting them in so that they're nice and straight. If you've got a bit of OCD there, so that they're nice and level and they look really good. Oh, that one's not quite going. in, but that's okay. So maybe we're saying we've got an equation, we've got a question, 6 counters plus maybe 3 counters. All right, and we're asking the students to demonstrate that they are able to comprehend this, okay, and they're able to take the problem, and then maybe we get them to pop their answer in there at the end. So 6 plus 3, and then maybe we get them to grab a text box and we get them to write their answer there. Okay, we could make it a bit bigger. It's not making it bigger because I didn't highlight it, which was really silly of me. So we could make our answer a little bit bigger there. Okay, we could use even our word art if we wanted to by heading up to insert and then heading down to word art if we wanted to create it nice and big and keep it with the rest of the look. Okay, but we could use our Google Slides for some maths activities. How cool is that? Really simple, but really effective. Okay, this one here is another example from a Jamboard template from Evolve EdTech. It's the Here, Now, There, Then Jamboard template based on one of the visible thinking routines from the Harvard Project Zero. So this one here, I've got nothing really specific around the outside of in our gray space, but I've actually got our instructions. So rather than losing real estate inside our slide space, maybe we put our instructions in the gray space around the activity so that we can provide more real estate to students to demonstrate their knowledge and complete their activity. So instead of putting these instructions here on our slide space, I put them up here so that we are providing students with plenty of space to complete our activity down here. Another really simple way to use the gray space in Google Slides. Okay, the next one here. This one is definitely a goodie. So this is another drag and drop. Okay, we've got natural environment examples and man-made environment examples, and we are just getting literally the students to drag and drop them into the relevant column. Okay, nice and simple. We can teach the students here about maybe resizing because some of the images might not fit if we keep them all quite large. But another way, we put examples around the outside. It might be animals, it might be foods. Okay, we might have the healthy food pyramid. Okay, it might be all kinds of different elements that we pop into the gray space around our slide area and get students to drag and drop. So simple, but so effective. Okay, another really great example of an activity that we can complete by using the gray space. Okay, this one here, again, this might be for some younger kids or some people that are learning numbers. Okay, basically, again, another drag and drop. Let's sort out odd and even numbers. Okay, so we're just dragging them into the relevant column, just like so. Okay, you could have all different kinds of the numbers around the outside. Okay, maybe you're skip counting, maybe you're looking at multiples. Whatever you find is necessary, you could do this by using that gray space. All right, this is limitless with what you can use the gray space for. Another example I have here is a timeline. Okay, so maybe we have a timeline here and we've got some historical events and we would like the students to show us their thinking, okay, and show us their ability to sequence events in order. So they just move their historical events, okay, into the appropriate place, and then maybe they pop in some lines or arrows to join it up to our main timeline there. So really simple, but it's a really easy way for us to use our slide space more effectively and more efficiently by providing the extra information that students need in the gray space around the outside. So there's just a couple of really cool examples of how you could use the gray space. It's an amazing space to use, and I think we should start using it more. Google Slides is a really great tool in the workspace environment for us to use. It's an alternative to Microsoft Word or even Google Docs because there are so many other things that we can do within slides. Now, I do know that my friend Matt Miller from Ditch That Textbook has some really great infographic templates on his website, and he does also use the gray space and the space outside of the slide so that we can have elements that students can drag and drop and use in their work. So go and investigate what you could do with the gray space. There's so many things. As I said, it's limitless. Okay, it's only limited by what you can think of and what you are looking for in your particular activity. So the gray space, a really, really cool feature of Google Slides that you may not be familiar with if you haven't heard about it before. So go out and experiment with it and see what you can come up with. Well, that brings us to the end of this video looking at the power of the gray space in Google Slides. So just before we head off, I do just want to remind you that if you haven't done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I would love to have more people part of the Evolve EdTech community and continue to inspire us here at Evolve EdTech to create more content for you. Also, don't forget to go and check us on our socials. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All right, we are definitely more active on Twitter, but we are on all of those social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So come and join us and check out our community. And don't forget to also go and check out the Evolve EdTech website. This is where you'll find heaps of stuff from Evolve EdTech. You'll find access to all of our videos. You'll also find access to a whole range of resources, our infographics. We've got some Jamboard templates. There's over 50 Jamboard templates there. We do have some Google Keep headers, which you can download absolutely free. You can access our Wakelet collection. You can look at our plan board series. We've got some ebooks, and we also have some digital timers, which you can also go and access there. So please go and check out our website and continue to support Evolve EdTech. Anyway, my name is Tristan. I am a content creator here at Evolve EdTech, and thank you so much for joining us in another video as part of our Google Slides More Than Just a Slide Deck series. Until next time, stay safe, everybody.